What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Dew Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, well, hey, Dan couldn't make it in today, so we got Dan Kuiper Jr. coming at you. That's right. I flew on in today. I'm going to host the show today. I'm going to take on over. As you guys know, it is NFL's mock draft season. You know what? I can't wait to come on here, be a special guest. That's right. I came on in. I'm going to be a special guest there for you guys today and talk about the NFL draft. I'm going to come at you with my inside information about the NFL draft and give you all the thoughts and things about it today. So we're going to break down a bunch of different people, have a bunch of laughs about talking about some trades and other things going on today. That's right. Coming at you live. First time ever. I know these things. I got good hair care products. I am Dan Kuiper Jr. Real quick, before we get into the show, if you didn't know, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making that march for 13,100 subs. If you can help out, that would be great. Dan also told me, hey, if you can go ahead and reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, all those buttons. Those things appear to help people out a whole lot. So try to get this show to 200, 300, 400 or whatever more you can as far as the likes and all that jazz. So, hey, go ahead. This is Dan Kuiper Jr. coming at you. And, yes, at the bottom of the hour, we got Kurt the Hitman Steele coming on over to help break all this stuff down. We got some 5 headlines now. We got all that stuff. In case some of you guys didn't know, apparently Dan Thornton is also a realtor. So when you get a free second of time, if you're thinking about buying a house, selling a house, knowing a house, maybe you know somebody who has a house, whatever it is, go ahead and reach out to that guy at 269-998-2384. He can apparently he's been a realtor for over 30 years, so maybe he can help you out with looking for that house, looking for that vacant land, whatever it is. Go ahead and give this guy a call, shoot him a text. He knows a few things about things, so hey, go ahead and give him a call and shoot him a text. All right, as you guys probably know, this is going to be a mock draft episode. We're going to break down some free agency moves, walk you guys through all the stuff that's going to happen in the NFL draft, and let me tell you, I'm never wrong. I am Dan Kuiper Jr., and I have yet to be wrong in the history of this thing. So let's go ahead and get this show rolling and going and get into 5 headlines now. Hopefully you guys are having a little fun with this. All right, Dan Kuiper Jr. coming at you. I got to put my name back on the screen because you know what? All right, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. And we got some headlines coming at you. And yes, Lions predicted to sign a $30 million defender as a Liam and McNeil Insurance. Sporting News, some guy named Mike Moratis with this one, and it would be B.J. Hill from the Cincinnati Bengals. That's right. I said this all offseason. I've been saying it for at least 5 minutes now. This guy's going to be a Detroit Lion. He's going to come on over, and that would give the Lions a whole lot of beef right in that middle of that line. We all know it. Dan Kuiper Jr. loves beef in the middle. He likes the big lines on the D, likes it on the offensive line, wants to grind, go ahead and do all that stuff. And I think most people who have watched the Cincinnati Bengals would say, hey, they can stop the run. They can do some good stuff on the D. Could the Lions go after Trey Hendrickson? We'll let that be another episode of the show, but we'll go ahead and let this potentially come on over. You get this guy, your salary cap, you know what, might take a little bit of hit, but if you got a rotation of him, DJ Reader, Aleem McNeil, you're probably liking life if you're a Detroit Lions defensive lineman. All right, next to the headlines, Hendon Hooker listed as players Lions could release. Story by John Macron of SI.com. I don't think it's going to happen. I think John Macron's been drinking maybe Mellow Yellow instead of Mountain Dew, but I do think that Hendon Hooker, this is an impactful season for him. He's got to go on out there. He's got to prove himself. The Lions move on from him. I get it. Hey, they give it a chance. They rolled the dice, see if they could get something out of this kid. This kid, you know what? I hear the rumors he just applied for his AARP card, but you know what? He's still 27, 28. He's got some wheels. He's got some size. He's got a cannon of an arm, but at some point he's got to be able to get on the field. We'll see what happens this offseason. how Amon-Ra St. Brown learned Antoine Randall L was leaving for the Bears. You know, the Bears, they're poaching you guys. They're hitting you guys hard. Same with the Jets. They're taking some of your guys. They're taking some of your players. They're taking some of your coaches. This story is by Mike Pendleton of Bears Wire. Bears Wire, hey, they have nothing more than fun talking about any time Detroit Lions lose someone over to the Chicago Bears. And let me tell you, Dan Kuiper Jr. is not a fan of coaches taking other coaches from the Detroit Lions, even though I understand why they do that. All right, let me fix my tie real quick. Okay, there we go. But Amon-Ra St. Brown revealed recently that he learned through all the receivers, plus the coaching staff, had a group text for the wide receivers. And yes, apparently Antoine Randall L did not address the players in face. He said, hey, I'm just going to shoot out a text and say, hey, you know where I'm going? I'm going to the Bears. And that was about it. This did not set well with Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of the Detroit Lions wide receiver group. They felt like, hey, they had a kinship with this guy. This guy said, I understand. I don't really want to talk to you guys about it. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So next time the Lions and the Bears play, I'm going to guess the Lions wide receivers core is going to want to score a whole lot of touchdowns and make them pay. All right, that's what they do. The Lions like to score points. Houston Texans connected to high-impact Detroit Lions free agent, Houston.com with this one, and this is from Evan Massey. Hey, we've talked about Kevin Zeitler being a player of interest for the Detroit Lions this offseason. Will they re-sign him? Hey, Dan Kuiper Jr. predicts yes, and I am never wrong. So let me tell you, it sounds like the Houston Texans and a few other teams want this guy. It sounds like the Chicago Bears want this guy. I'm going to say this, there's no way he leaves town. I think we're going to lock him on down and get him at least for one more year. We'll see if I'm wrong, but I am never wrong, so I must be right. All right, David Shaw to join Detroit Lions coaching staff as passing game coordinator. The report. Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press with this one. And you know what? David Shaw, hey, he coached at the Stanford University for like over a decade. Did a real good job there. He's been kind of matriculating through the league, doing some various different jobs. I actually think this is a pretty nice, impressive move for the Detroit Lions. He should be able to help elevate that passing game and take it to even higher standards, in my personal humble belief. And I am always humble when I am accurately describing myself. So anyways, David Shaw, I think it's a real gift for the Detroit Lions. I think we should all enjoy it. And yes, it will be difficult for me to maintain this characterization for an entire hour of the show. Thank goodness Chris Steele is coming on the show today. All right, with all that said and done, let's go ahead and get over the main topic of the day. Hey, you guys all paid in all your money. You want to see what is Dan Kuiper Jr. predicting for the Detroit Lions this offseason? Let's break it on down and get into the main topic of the day. All right, it is mock draft time, and you know what? I did not have enough time to get everything set up for this. I tried, but you know what? Hey, I didn't get all the graphics set up, so you guys are going to have to help me out a little bit here and there as we go through it, but that's such is life, right? All right, let me pull up a couple things real quick here, finish some stuff off, and then bada bing, bada boom. We're going to go ahead and get over to it. All right. We're going to predicate this by saying before the draft even starts, Brad Holmes is going to make some moves. He's going to be a shaken and a bacon, and we're going to dive into that. First things first, I think most Lions fans would say, hey, you can't put enough heat on the opposing quarterback. So because of that, the Detroit Lions are going to be a little bit more active than perhaps we all anticipate. And this is going to be one of the big splash moves here. And let this thing all unfold before you get either too happy or too sad. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe buttons. Lions are going to go out and put out an offer for Josh Sweat from the Philadelphia Eagles in free agency. This will be a premier addition to the team if this all does go down. And I do predict it will go down. Josh Sweat, as you guys know, hey, he's going to come in. He's going to set an edge. He's going to go ahead and get after the opposing team's quarterback. And yes, he had multiple sacks last year, 8 sacks in all. And I think he's going to be another part of the piece of the puzzle for this Detroit Lions D, potentially becoming truly the number one defense in the entire National Football League. So we'll see what they do. And beyond that, I think the Lions are going to mostly focus on trying to re-sign some of their own guys who will get re-signed. You know, I don't want to give away all spoilers this particular episode. Wait and see in time. Now, let's go ahead and get over to the draft of the NFL and the Detroit Lions. I'm going to start in reverse order just to kind of build up the drama. I know you guys like drama. You like suspense. So with pick number 246, Lions are going to go after Adrenaline Miller. He's a safety out of Maryland. Now, if you don't know much about this kid, hey, that's why I'm here. He's 6'2". He's roughly 200 pounds, and he is dynamic in man-to-man coverage. Why does that matter? Because the Lions still want to play a ton of man-to-man coverage, right? He showcases tremendous ball skills. This is my humble opinion. And let me tell you, I'm never more humble than when I'm talking about NFL players that are going to get drafted. So I think he is an ideal pick out of Maryland. He's been a DB. He's actually been a wide receiver in high school. And this kid, he is an underrated talent, athlete, and he fits exactly what the Lions like to do on D. He's got the right personality traits, too. So you're not going to get that anywhere else. Dan Kuiper, he's got the inside information, and I'm giving it to you for free. All right, next we're going to go to pick number 230. Now, this is going to be a surprise move for a lot of people, but hear me out here. Tyler Schroll, and I'm probably killing that name. He is 6'5". He is a quarterback, and he is 224 pounds. I'm going to say he's actually closer to 230 after a draft day, party. But anyways, he's got a cannon for an arm. He's got good footwork. He's got pocket presence, and he's got some wheels. I'm not going to say he's Mike Vick. I'm not going to say he's anything other than who he is. And I will say this, though. He runs the 40 in roughly 4.7 seconds. This kid can throw it 50 yards on a dime in no problem at all. Outside weather, inside weather. Heck, he's been known to throw it up to 70 yards in the air. The kid can throw it and he can run. He's a big body boy. And you know what? Sounds like a future Detroit Lion to me. All right. Next, we're going to go on over to pick 198, and it's Jacob Gilden. He is the OC from Western Michigan University. Now, you're going to say to me, why do you even know this guy? Why? Because I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan. That's why, or at least somebody I know does. Anyways, hey. All right, so anyways, this kid is 6'2". He is very mobile. He's very powerful and has real good balance in his blocking assignments. He gets under pads. He moves body. He would be a little bit of projection as far as having to develop in the future. But you know what? Frank the Tank Ragnow probably got about 2 years left in the National Football League. My assumption is Gilden will come on in and replace him eventually. I like the kid. He's mobile. Lions, a new running game, and OC coordinators like to use a lot of pulls, a lot of misdirection and such. You're going to want somebody who's very mobile. Not that Frank Ragnow isn't, but Dan Kuiper Jr. predicts this guy is going to be a diamond in the proverbial rough for you guys. All right, moving on down the line. Hey, another big surprise here at pick 132. Lions are going to go ahead and make some moves. They're going to shake and bake a little bit here and pick up a wide receiver, and that would be Ricky White from the University of UNLV. Now, you guys don't know this guy. I get it. He's probably somebody that you don't pay much attention to, but you know what? I hear Dan Thornton likes to watch USC, so sometimes he watches UNLV, play USC, etc. This kid's fast. He's freaky fast. And he's played in the go-go offense. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like the run and shoot, a couple little changes here and there, and he put up nearly 1,500 yards this past season. He's not the biggest cat in the world. He's 6 foot, and if he weighs 180, I'd be surprised. But for elite speed and someone who is game-changing in that regard, you think about him out there with Jameson Williams, St. Brown, Laporte, and everybody else. You know what? Those defenses get stretched out pretty quick. He is going to be an ideal candidate in my humble opinion. Now, there's where things start getting a little interesting. And yes, I'm not a big fan of kind of projecting Lions doing trades and all that stuff, but this one seemed too good to be true. So you know what? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'll let you guys dissect it. I think the Lions are all about that defense. I think they want to kill other quarterbacks, and I mean that literally. I think they're going to be out there trying to shred them up there and hack them on up. Lions are going to trade pick 101 this year. They're going to trade pick number second round next year, plus a fifth-round pick. And you know what? I know I'll take some flack for this, but hey, I'm Dan Kuiper Jr. I'm not afraid of flack because you know what? My hair is bulletproof. All right. So anyways, they're going to trade it to the Cleveland Browns for Myles Garrett. I did kind of went back and forth and kind of said, hey, would it be the Cleveland Browns? Would it be the Raiders? Hey, I leave that to you guys to digest. I think it's going to be a coin flip between the two. One of those guys is coming on over, and those are the picks we're giving up, and we're going to get one of those premium edge rushers in here who is, yes, a little bit of a veteran, somebody who can kind of control the locker room, someone who is a Lion through and through personality-wise, and I think that D-line is going to be pretty awesome. Now, you're going to say, oh, Dan Kuiper, wow, that sounds amazing. That sounds great. Wow, the Lions are really set up for the future, aren't they? At least for the next couple of years by adding one of those two premium guys. And yes, I do think it's going to go down, and I am never wrong. Now we're going to go to picks number 60. 60. Hey, this is going to be a big one because you know what? We've already talked about adding to that D line. Already talked about getting beefed up. Now we've just added a ton of talent to it. But you know what? Hey, Brad Holmes, he does what he does. I think he says the Lions, they really need to keep doing this. So Deion Walker, and he is going to be the defensive tackle out of Kentucky. Now you're kind of saying, hey, Dan, this is a little bit of overkill. But I say, not so much. Because you do have some guys that probably after this year are going to be gone. I think the Lions are drafting and acquiring players, not just for this year, but for the following year and the year after that. Hey, wait and see where it goes from there. Deion Walker, in case you didn't know, he is a massive human being. He is roughly 350 pounds. He is 6'7". And this kid is actually pretty dang athletic. He can get after you. He clogs up the line of scrimmage. Let me tell you, you're not running at this kid. You're not going away. You're not at him. You're going away from him. Let me tell you, because he is a mountain of a person. He's going to block out the jumbotron in Jerry's World. You won't be able to see him if you're the quarterback. But anyways, the Lions are going to take him at pick number 60. And yes, that leads up to the first-round pick. Lions still got the first-round pick. I had a lot of thoughts about where to go here. Do you go linebacker? Do you go edge? Do you go wherever you go? You know what? I said this guy, he seems like a lion. He's got a rare blend of speed and size, explosiveness. I think he is the closest thing you're going to find to Aiden Hutchinson at pick number 28. And if you don't know who he is, let me walk you through it. He's from Texas A&M. He is Shamar Stewart. And let me tell you, 6'5", 281 pounds. He's got one heck of a wingspan. He's got one heck of a burst. He can control the line. He can set the edge. You're not running on this guy. And you know what? With Garrett Crosby on one side, with this guy there, plus everybody else you've added on, that defensive line, you know what? What's Bo Booth talk about? He talks about rotation. And you know what? Now the Lions have a ton of guys. Don't forget Zadarius Smith. Don't forget Alaquin Muhammad. Now you're going to be able to rotate probably 8 to 9 different guys on that defensive line of scrimmage, keeping them all fresh, throwing all the games through the regular season into the postseason. And you know what? Hey, I think it's going to be a massive explosion of defensive pass rush and healthy bodies because you know what? You're going to be able to rotate. You're going to be able to throw them all out there. That is my mock draft, and let me even bring it up onto this. Well, you know what? I won't bring it on the screen. I ain't got time for all that. So, hey, I'm just going to recap. Shamar Stewart, number 28, edge from Texas A&M. You got Deion Walker, number 60, defensive tackle from Kentucky. Ricky White, wide receiver, fast as heck. Fast, freaky fast. You know, let me tell you, that guy you place an order, if he's the delivery guy, it's there before you even hang up the phone. 132. Then he got Jacob Gildren from offensive guard / center, 198 from Western Michigan University. Tyler Schroll, quarterback from Louisville. 230. And then Gildon Miller, safety from Maryland. And I really do like Miller. I think he is if he falls that far, and I do think he will fall pretty far unless he just really nails it at the combine. That's going to be a diamond in the rough. That's going to be your next Christian Mahogany for you guys. All right, I am Dan Kuiper Jr. I am giving you the inside information. Put your money down, put your bets down, and I understand I got to go over to the comment section. I got to talk to you guys. I got to see what you guys have to say. So, hey, let me real quick slide on over there and see what I got to do, what I got to talk about here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this Dan Kuiper Jr. business because let me tell you, my hair feels pretty like it's bulletproof over here. All right, JDC, good morning all. Back at you, my friend. JDC, new drink at the Woo Bar. Lions Talk Live mock draft beer. I'll go with that. And yes, for mock draft 2.0, I'll try to have a little bit more graphics and everything like that. Just really ran out of time this morning. You know, hey, that flayed on in. That thing kind of landed a little late. Good morning, Duke Crew. Mockumentary time, 100%. Woo! I'll go with that. Anymore. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. What a day, what a team, what a podcast. I agree. I really like being here. It's a great place to be. It's a great time to be a Lions fan. Exclamation point. Woo! And back at you. Hookadoo. Good morning, Duke Crew. It's time to mock our socks off. Oh, yeah. I'll go with that. Do what you got to do, my friend. Sometimes it's what gets you through life. Detroit D, gritty and salutations, everyone. 100%. Good to see you, my friend. All right, Marcus. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Love the David Shaw hire. 100%. David Shaw, I think that's a nice pickup for you guys. Detroit Lions, you know what? Some guys leave. Some other guys come in. David Shaw, I got a lot of respect for him. I think he's done a great job as a coach. I have a friend who played for the Ravens when he was the wide receiver coach, and he says Shaw is a great person. Very mild-mannered and players coach. I agree with that. I think, yeah, everybody's going to love this guy in time. You give him time, you're going to love him. Clark, what be happening, Duke Crew? Question mark. Coach, what you got? And now you know. You know. I'm very glad that Coach Dan allowed me to step on in here today. Hopefully you guys are enjoying having the infamous one, Dan Kuiper Jr. over here. All right, Detroit D. David Shaw is a great hire. He will be our de facto OC and keep Goff in his comfort zone. I think you're right. I think Goff is going to actually have a pretty dang good season. Probably maybe one of his best of his NFL career. I suspect this will be a real pivotal year for JG. Big Eddie, greetings, salutations. I think I could be one of the more interesting off seasons ever for us. I think so. If I think the Lions do sign what they got in free agency, plus make that draft day trade, and again, for those who are just joining, Josh Sweat, I've got the Lions signing him as a free agent. I also have the Lions giving up multiple picks, middle round picks, thirds and seconds, etc., to go ahead and get either a premier defensive end. Whether that's Crosby, whether it's Myles Garrett, I'll let you guys debate, but I do think they're going to go after somebody. And yes, I agree. It's going to be a great season. Johnny L., good morning, everybody. Back at you. Rob, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan, Duke Crew. The Lions are the grooviest, Daddy-O. And I concur with you there, Rob. Trey, what's good, all question mark? We making some trades? I think you guys will make a trade. I don't think it's going to be multiple trades. I think Brad Holmes is going to be very selective, and he's going to go after one. And again, I don't know if it's going to be Crosby. I don't know if it's going to be Garrett. I do think Brad Holmes is going to make a draft day trade. That's what I'm predicting. That's what I'm talking about. Marcus agreed, Big Eddie. Marcus, mock draft time, 100%, my friend. This will be the first one of many, I'm sure. Darcy, although I will not be here for all of them. I'm filling in today. That's about it. Darcy, good morning, Duke Crew gang. I hope Brad is aggressive this year. We can win it all the next few seasons. Go all in on it. I say I 100% agree. If you're not in it to win it, what are you doing? What are you doing? Dan Kuiper likes to say, hey, I'm not worried about tomorrow. I'm worried about today. The Detroit D, I don't care what round draft a edge to help Hutch out. Brad has struck gold in rounds 3 and 4. He has. Brad Holmes, good guy. He's had a lot of home runs in later rounds. I think that will continue the trend. You guys heard me talk about it, but hey, some of the draft talk, hey, I'm all about it, but I want you to really pay attention to that Maryland safety. I think he's going to be real nice for the Detroit Lions for years to come. Marcus, draft depth and more depth. I like the way you're thinking. Man Bear, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point. Have a safe and wonderful day. I think I'll go with that. And yes, sorry, I'm not used to looking through glasses, so it is affecting my reading abilities. Lance, I hope we get Green. I know he is undersized, but the kid has power and speed. Yes, he does. And I'm sure everybody saw him pancake block on that highlight yesterday. But you know what? I think that guy's not going to be there when we get up there. And even if he is, I really like the guy we got. Anymore, I say it, if we trade, I'm assuming, get as many third or fourth picks as we can. Gold, baby, gold, 100%. Booah! I'll go with that, Henry Morton. Yes, make some trades, get some picks. Johnny L., hey, Coach Dan, how do I get a hold of you on the side? I got a video that I would love to share to you. I know Coach Dan's got his phone number up on the screen. You can go ahead and probably call him or text him, something like that. France, in your opinion, we can afford to go all in D in both free agency and the draft. Let's get that D built up. I think, if you're based on if Dan Kuiper Jr. is correct, and I'm always correct, hey, the Lions are going to go after it in free agency. They're going to go after it in some trades, and yes, the draft as well. Rob, be groovy and smash that button for Coach Dan, the man with a plan. There you go. Thank you very much. Hit that like and subscribe buttons. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Get 2 game changers on defense and then some young depth. Do that, and I believe we are once again in the running. I concur. Five Fingers Freddy, who are we bringing in? Well, if you watch the show, now you know. Susan, what do you got? Good morning. D-line is target number 1 in my mind. I agree. I think the Lions take care of that front 7. Will they be able to get after the quarterback without a ton of blitzing? Now that great secondary with the 2 all-world safeties and some very good developing corners, now they really shine. Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. No time to miss with this spring and get them hits. We need guys who step up quick. Yes, 100%. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think the Lions going to acquire some good young guys, but they're going to also put them around them, augment it with some good, solid veteran guys. You know what? Guys that are going to come on in and help right away. Johnny L. Susan Scott, you're 100% right. I agree with the both of you. Let's see. Sosa Malone, trade for MG, please. Hey, you read my mind, my friend. Marcus, hit that like and subscribe button. Justin Tucker style. There you go. JDC Magic 8 Ball says defense wins the big ones. Big Daz, good morning to Duke, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. I hope Brad Holmes makes some big moves for the D-line. I think that is the most important, along with maybe a cornerback. You can never have enough depth. Oh, yeah. No, you can never have enough good talent. You know, good talent, you got options. You don't have talent, you got no options. Hookadoo, I agree, Susan Scott. In depth, Voltron Forest, it's that time of year, mock draft time, and I love it. I think we all do, my friend. I personally spend all year getting ready for this time of year. Big Daz, big fan of getting Myles Garrett over any other trade or free agent. I think there's a strong possibility. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe that Hendon Hooker kid, maybe he's part of the trade. Maybe that takes some draft capital off. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I think the Lions are going to go after him. Dave Bing, good morning. Duke, back at you. Pat, are we factoring in trades? Yes, we did. I factored in a few trades for you. Henry Moore, what do you got? I say get the speed on defense. Another wide receiver, look St. Brown. Feed Brad Holmes 3 and 4th rounders to work his magic. Maybe they do just that. Maybe. Johnny L., you got that right, Big D. Jason, make the moves. In Brad, we trust. You have to trust Big Bad Brad. JDC, I am toast. Hey, who doesn't like toast? JDC, puff. Woo! Coffee and Lions Talk Live 100%. And you know what? Dan Kuiper Jr. is coming at the live. Henry Moore, need a fresh cup of coffee. Woo! Go get it, my friend. JDC, freaking laughing out loud. T-Bones, all right. The Skulls, it's okay, I'll go with that. Brian, I love it, 100%. Bo, love it. All right, hilarious. Marcus, laughing out loud. Dan Kuiper, 100%. Let me tell you, I got to drink a whole lot of Mountain Dew to get this way. Miles Mark, laughing out loud. Paul, laughing. Trumps. And your daddy, get used to it. All right. I am somebody's daddy. That is correct. I am Dan Kuiper Jr. Let's see. Hyper Kuiper. There you go. Paperback fan. Nice hair. Thank you. I just spent some time on this. Let me tell you, it doesn't move. David, I doubt it. I doubt the hair does move. No, it does not move. Hookadoo. Wow. Look at the new Duke crew. Hey, there you go. The hair of destiny. There you go. JDC. To rewatch at half the speed. Hey, you might be able to break it down a little bit more. Anymore. Good morning, Dan Jr. 100%. Broski is Wom. I'll go with that, Dave. Let's see. Manberg, laughing out loud. Fantastic. You got to love the dance. David Broski is way more aggressive. Okay. The Trim Reaper. What up, Coach and Duke Crew? Woo! Back at you. MCDK. There we go. Let's see. Derek, it is funnier after we pull a few puffs with JDC. Maybe, kind of. Yes. There you go. Southwest Coach. The glasses look cool. Let me tell you, I'm not used to using these things. Hookadoo, good morning, Miles Marker. Grit. You got to have grit in life. You know what? Especially if you like a little grit in your coffee or whatever. I don't drink coffee, but let me tell you, I'm a Dew guy kind of myself. Dale, too many Mountain Dews this morning. Great salutations to all. Dew morning to you all. 100%, my friend. Rob, Lions beef in the middle. Yeah, 100%. Lions going to have a lot of beef. I think the Lions are really going to add to both the defensive lines and the offensive lines. I think they're going to try to grind all over the place. If you can't get the JG, you can't sack them. And you know what? If we can get to your quarterback, if we can stop the running game, that's what I think the Lions are going to do. I think that's what Brad Holmes is going to do. I think they're going to make it real tough on the rest of the NFC North, let alone the rest of the NFL. All right, Mike the Marine Gunny. Howdy, Dan and Duke. Happy Friday. Love special guest shows, 100%. Sometimes you get them. Miles Barr, been saying it for at least 5 minutes now. There you go, Kuiper Jr. Hey, man, I'm there to be quoted for you. Bo, big beef in the middle, 100%. Get them bigger. And let me tell you, the Lions, if I get these projections right, and I'm doing the math kind of in my head, I'm thinking, hey, the average weight of the Lions defensive tackle, the DTIs, is probably going to be right around 340 pounds. And you rotate 4 guys like that, man, that's a whole lot for that interior offensive line to deal with throughout the game. Rocky, good morning, all, and love the outfit, Coach, 100% coming at you. Hey, I flew on in just for the show. Robert, Dan, you definitely look so much smarter. Hey, there you go. Dan Kuiper Jr. Hey, nobody supersedes my IQ. That's what I'm saying. Not when it comes to win the NFL draft. I've been spending years on this thing. Johnny L. BJ Hill, did I hear that right? Yes, that is one of the projections out there. Lions would be acquiring him. But in my scenario with the trades, with the other draft picks, I don't think the Lions are going to do it, Johnny L. Trumps, Broski living rent-free? Could be. I haven't seen him in a long time. Trim Reaper, from undeniable to undesirable to undeniable, baby. Exclamation point. Go Lions. Oh, yeah. I'll go with that. Southwest, keep the hooker for trade market. See if it walks. There you go. Yeah, I think the Lions, if they're going to get rid of him, they're going to trade him. I've been talking about it all off season. I think the Lions are going to look at potentially trading Hendon Hooker. Dynamite, why release him, trade him? Yeah, I'm not sure why they would talk about releasing him, not when you can trade him and acquire something for it. I'm a sneaker coach looking straight out of an episode of Mad Men. There you go. I'll go with that. Jake N. Damn, Dan Kuiper Jr. is annoying. Jump out of the show hour early. There you go. There you go. Don Burr, go get Milton Williams, a free agent defensive tackle from Philly this offseason. Only 25. He's a stud. I like him. I like him a lot. JDC, Bears, Monsters of the Midway. I concur. John Ford, greetings, salutations to Dan Kuiper Jr. and the world famous Duke crew. You are Mel Kuiper Jr., brother. There we go. Robert, greetings, salutations. Great coach hires, but brutal schedule next season. Lions will prevail. Grit. Woo! I concur. Let's see. Southwest Lion, to all our wideouts, better than he ever was. What did he possibly teach them? Nothing but the Bears spending more money. Of course, they leaving the Lions let his butt walk. 100%. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get over to our special guest of the day. And, hey, I'm going to go ahead and step aside and let Dan come on back. It looks like he's tapping on in. So, hey, let's get our special guest. You all know him. You love him. He is the host of the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast. He is Kurt the Hitman Steele. All right, let's get him on air here. Hey, thanks for Dan Kuiper Jr. for stepping on over and helping us out today. Glad to see that he could make some time out of his day to come on over. Kurt Steele, how you doing today?
What up, though? What's going on, man? Doing great. What's up to the Duke crew? How you doing out there this morning? Yeah, looking sharp, Dan. That was me.
It is that time of year. We're all going to be breaking down different things that the Lions could do this offseason, potentially in free agency, with the draft, with trades. What do you think is priority number one for Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions?
It has to be, I think, shoring up the pass rush. That's got to be number one for me. Getting someone to team with Aiden Hutchinson is number one. Even though I like Zadarius Smith, he's not a true like number two type of guy for me, like with longevity, with the age. And I like Zadarius. I'm just wondering what we will get out of him with Hutch. You know what I'm saying? So I like to go younger. So that's just me. Okay. And then getting that guard position, the other guard position, either locking down Kevin Zeitler or because I think Kristen Mahogany is going to be that guy that's going to take over for my man John Blank right now. Graham Glasgow. So but I think that those two are going to be they're showing up those offensive and defensive lines, just making sure we got great depth there. That hurt us last year. Definitely. So,
when you look at the Lions, we've got roughly $60 million available cap space. How aggressive do you think Brad Holmes is going to be in free agency, which will obviously leads into the draft?
I think he kind of stays pat for what he does. He kind of, he's never been a prisoner of the moment. How aggressive will he be? I think he'll be more aggressive with the guys we have already on the team than when he will with outside personnel.
Go ahead.
Carlton Davis and Kevin Zeitler, some of the, there's a couple of names that I'm pretty sure he wants to, make sure he brings back and have them back on the roster.
You look at the NFC North, you look at obviously some of the changes, some of the things going on with other teams. At least with Dan Kuiper Jr.'s mock draft 1.0, it does seem like the Lions were really trying to target beefing up the defensive line, getting more rotational guys on the interior defense, but also pass rushers, and then continuing to address the offensive line. Do you think it's an arms race in the NFC North to just see who can have the biggest, baddest lines?
Yeah, it is. It always has been. And Detroit has led the way, at least on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side, we've made splashes, but we haven't had a consistent, defensive line where we have the consistent pass rush. We've had some good pieces. We started off this year great, but it just all the injuries that kind of just slowed the line down, as we got further and further into the season.
I got a question for you. I know it's early before, free agency, before the draft. Are there any players, at least for the first round, maybe if you even want to dive into it in the second round, that you think the Lions should have interest in already?
I won't say players, but positions like defensive tackle, and of course, defensive end, edge is the guys that I like. You just look at that. I I'm not sure where, because I haven't really delved into a lot of the the prospects just yet. Kind of saving, what I'm looking at for, starting to get into free agency. I'm just now starting to get into free agency,
right?
And looking at that. But positions wise, got to be DN. At another corner, as well. But I'm more interested right now in focusing on the guys that we have on the staff that's already on the roster that we can bring back. I would like to bring back Derek Barnes. That's one guy I would like them to re-sign. Of course, Kirby Joseph, and some guys that, that we have on the roster. Some guys I'm looking at like, I'm not really sure about. Like, I'm iffy on iffy. If you can say that, or, I'm iffy on iffy. I would like to bring back Levi Onwuzurike. This year has proven what he can do if he's healthy. He's a good rotational piece on that defensive line. So, mix him in with Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader, what I'm saying, for a full season. That's a pretty good rotation at defensive tackle.
When you look at all the flex, obviously there's been a lot of coaching changes for the Detroit Lions. We all get it. Anybody watching the show understands it. What do you think about some of the names that are starting to come in and be attached to filling in these positions for the Detroit Lions with some of the new hires?
The one guy I was really questionable on, and I kind of changed my mind. I really did a 180 on is John Morton. And as I'm researching more and more, the more I realize that he's pretty much the architect of what we do. He was the guy who was mentoring Ben Johnson and mentoring Taylor Engstrand, and some of his philosophies and concepts were built. Were the building blocks of our offense. So it just kind of makes sense to bring in the guy who's available if he's the architect. Not saying he built all of it, but he's the baseline. He has, his concept was the baseline for what we do. Why not bring him back and just make him part of the staff? And then, of course, with the hiring of David Shaw, which I'm covering on my show today, love the hire. Not for the name's sake, but for his coaching style and the impact he can have on this offense and the players on the team. You look at some of the careers that he sparked out there in Stanford. I'm like, yeah, I'm like what I see out of David Shaw. As you kind of look at it, it's kind of funny where you have the Jets and the Bears pillaging the Lions coaching staff. We pillaged the Broncos coaching staff. Yeah. Brought two guys over from the Denver Broncos. So it just happens. And, I wish the guys in New York the best of luck. Of course, I don't wish the guys on the Chicago Bears any luck at all. I'll never wish the Bears luck at anything. So congratulations to them. I'm never wishing them luck.
Right. I think all Lions fans, we agree that I hope they fall on their face. Hope they go 0-17 or whatever this year. But when you brought up the fact Lions have acquired.
Wait a minute. What? I'm reading this comment on the screen. What?
Oh, gotcha.
What?
Hey,
that is the most asinine thing I've ever read from a Lions fan. Or I don't know. Why would you move a all-pro right tackle to right guard?
Be able to move some bodies with it. But
no. Okay, let's go. Next question. Go ahead, because that's
all right. So you brought up the fact that yes, the Lions have brought over multiple different coaches from the Denver Broncos. Why do you think we've specifically targeted guys, or is it just happenstance that they both were with the Broncos?
I think the history with John Morton, with Dan Campbell and Sean Payton. But you look at Dan Campbell's part of Sean Payton's coaching tree, as well as Bill Parcells. All these guys are coming from that era, that area of that coaching tree. And just as the other coaches that have left are pillaging the guys that have familiarity with on this staff, we're doing the same thing to Denver. We have familiarity with John Morton, and then David Shaw has familiarity with Johnny Morton as they started their coaching career in the NFL together back in the day. So it's familiarity.
When you look at Kelvin Shepard and then also John Morton, do you think there's any real big changes either one of them bring into the OC role or DC role?
I don't think there's going to be a lot of philosophy change. I think one thing you may not see with John Morton is probably the amount of trick plays. I think they'll still have some, in the belt, but I don't think that they're going to rely on that. I think they're going to rely more on, running the offense, running the ball, play action pass. Second most in play action attempts last year behind Jared Goff was Bo Nix. So why would you kind of, go away from that strength? And John Morton was a senior assistant here in 2022, and he hit with that career progression of Jared Goff in Detroit. So why would you even change that? It doesn't make any sense, And then with Kelvin Shepherd, I think you may see a more aggressive defense at some points as far as blitzing the quarterback. You got to remember, people don't really kind of goes under the wire if you're really not paying attention. With him, Kelvin Shepherd was the pass rush coordinator in 2023. So, you look at that, with that background, I'm not sure if it's going to be the secondary is the part that kind of iffy for me because of the fact that is he going to still play that man coverage, or is he going to mix in zone, or is he going to play a combination of both? That's going to be the key for me is having, a more flexible secondary, or at least a more flexible concepts where they can play both man and zone coverages.
So you look at I get it's the off season. Lions are going to be tied. Everybody's going to write about it. Lions are going to trade for this guy. They're going to sign this guy or whatever. At the end of the day, do you really foresee Brad Holmes making any trades? I know I've speculated on some. I know other people will. If you think there's a trade out there for the Detroit Lions and Brad Holmes, who is it?
Nah, I'm not thinking. I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing a big trade right now. I just don't see it. I think it's going to be more of the, like I said, making sure we take care of the guys we already have on the roster, keeping the guys that we have in place. At 15-2, even with the injuries,
right?
I just think the keeping the guys that we have, what I'm saying, adding a player here or there. I'm not saying the Lions roster is perfect in any kind of way of sort. I know we need pass rush help. I think getting the guys back on the roster healthy that was there last year and that contributed to that 15-2 mark, getting those guys back and getting them healthy going into the 2025 season is going to be paramount. I think that Brad Holmes kind of sticks to his guns. He's not a big splash guy. I mean, the biggest splash last year was the trade for Carlton Davis. I mean, really, that was a splash move because Kevin Zeitler really wasn't a splash move as a free agent signing. The splash was a trade for Carlton Davis. So I think that we try to keep those guys that we already have on board.
Just real quick, Kurt, just so you guys know, I'm Chris Foster. That is now the 21st different Chris Foster account I have banned. So Chris Foster is very diligent on coming back into the channel with new and more new accounts. So that was me that banned him, and that is number 21. That is, by the way, a Lions Talk Live all-time record for a person being banned the most on the channel.
Wow.
Yeah, 21 different accounts and counting. I suspect he'll be back. All right, real quick, one last question, get you out of here. If in your opinion, now that we've had a couple weeks to kind of digest everything that happened with Washington, I know it's one of the topics. It's unavoidable if you're a successful team. Your coordinators are going to get interviewed. In your opinion, going back now and rewatching that game or whatever, having some time to just kind of go over it, do you think both coordinators were a little distracted by the interview processes and now, I guess you could say, knowing that they were going to have to hire subordinate coaches?
I'm not sure about, and I'm not trying to be facetious or be kind of biased. I didn't see that from AG. Maybe more because you look at the process. His hiring process was a lot longer than Ben Johnson's was. I think Ben Johnson's was swifter because he already had the position going into the Commanders game. I don't want to make excuses for either one of those guys. Just because of the fact that we lost the game. You lose as a team. There was mistakes made on both sides of the ball. I mean, offense turning the ball over 5 times, defense giving away all that many points, injuries, of course, within the secondary. first, second play of the game, our top cover corner goes out, then we're going down the depth chart. And then you lose, Brian Branch and Iffy Melifonwu. Brian Branch came back into the game, tried to play, but I'm just not comfortable saying that, and I will say that could have played a factor. Yes. And now earlier, I ain't gonna lie to you, earlier on, I was all up in Ben Johnson's junk saying that, hey, yeah, you can, maybe that was the issue, but I don't know, man. I don't want to just bring it up. It's kind of in the past now. I've kind of just moved on from it. You know what I'm saying? But, good luck to Aaron Glenn and congratulations to Ben Johnson. But, like I said before, I'm not wishing good luck on anybody in Chicago. It ain't going to happen.
Right. All right, Kurt, I want to thank you for hopping on the show on Fridays. As always, why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out to everybody where they can find your great work and how they can come on over to your channel.
All right, man, check me out at the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. You know what we got going on over there. It's me, my man, Coach Mike, LL. We're doing those recorded shows. We're in our off-season mode, so we're going 3 times a week right now. Giving our takes. We do an opinion show over there. That's what we do. We look at the news and tell you what we think about it, and if we agree, we do what we do. So make sure you come over there and check us out live at 8:00 today. So make sure you come and check me out today at 8:00. We're going to be live. Maybe I might get a special appearance by, a Kuiper or something like that today. We'll see at 8:15. So make sure you come through and check us out, man. Doing some great stuff. Make sure you check me out over at Lions Nation Unite. We do some content over there as well, doing some videos for those guys. So make sure you check me out over there at Lions Nation Unite, man. Great community over there, man. And join that movement that is Lions Nation Unite.
All right. He is the host with the most. He is the host of the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. He is Kurt Steele. Go show him some support by subscribing and liking his videos. Kurt, as always, have a good one, man.
See you guys at 8:00.
All right. Let's get back over to the Duke Crew comments. Don, what tells me how good a head coach is when the team hits a 3 or 4 game losing streak, ! And the band sticks together. Dan Campbell proves he's that guy. Yes, he has done a great job. His big test, I would say, as a head coach was probably that first year and a year and a half. He got the team through that. And then once you start winning, look, it's easy to coach when you're winning all the time. Everybody's happy. Everybody's joyful, unless people aren't getting the snaps they want or something like that. But it is, like you're saying, Don, it is very tricky when you're not having success, when the team is not winning. People get down. They don't feel good about things. They want to stop showing up, etc. They mentally and emotionally check out. Anyway, I like to have 2 bye weeks. Okay, yeah, me too. I think, especially as long as the season is now, 2 bye weeks, I think, would do right by a lot of players from a humanity standpoint. The other part, if I'm the NFL, just from a business standpoint, you extend the season. I would do it that way. I wouldn't get rid of any of the preseason games, the regular season games. I would just add another week in. And let's be honest, the NFL is the most powerful league on planet Earth, at least in the North American hemisphere, whatever you want to say. But you could argue nowadays that the NFL worldwide is the biggest sports franchise out there. I get soccer is still king in most of planet Earth, but the NFL, man, it is traveling more and more worldwide. You see the numbers every time the Super Bowl or the playoffs come out from across the world. Yeah, more and more people are just inundated with it and into it. Southwest Line, Don Burr, if the Lions ever win a Super Bowl, there will be a movie about this team. Yes, there will be, 100%. Mark, good morning to everyone, and Lions Talk Live. Back at you, Mark. Trump's automatically getting the ball at the 30-yard line is horse hockey. And, the 20 to 30, I mean, I get it, man, but it is what it is. Everybody's got the same advantage or disadvantage, so there's no real advantage, I guess. Philippines, the Bears almost beat us twice last season. Johnson will make them better. Don't overlook them. I would agree with that, Philippines. The one thing I would say for the Lions is, remember, we played the Bears twice once all the defensive injuries had already kind of ransacked one side of the ball. How much that will factor into stuff, we'll find out next year. But I do think the Lions defense will be much better when we play the Bears next year. Trump's plus kickoffs used to be game-changing plays. They used to. I can remember, what was it? One of the Thanksgiving Day games, we forced overtime with the Bears and they returned the opening kickoff. Yeah, so that's not as much of a thing anymore. Southwest Line, nobody's overlooking the Bears. The reality of the NFL is you have to get better every year. Otherwise, you will get passed over by other teams. Yeah, I agree with that. Spot on. Trim Reaper, good job, Broski. Broski is very diligent, isn't he? Downburst, Southwest Lion, I can agree with that. I think the fan base alone deserves a movie when the Lions win the Super Bowl. I'm actually surprised, Don Burr, with the success of Major League. If you guys remember that movie, not the sequels, but the original one, that somebody didn't try to use that formula and make one about the Detroit Lions during the, say the 80s, 90s, or whatever. Lions Hawk, bad guy, laughing out loud. Keep Kuiper character is so funny. Yeah, I'm very thankful that Dan Kuiper Jr. was able to come onto the show today. But hey, maybe next time we'll see Dan O'Damas or something. Southwest Lion, Trump's a genius. I'm with you. They need to ditch the current kickoff rule, go back to what they had. Yeah, I think the only reason why they have it is just they're trying to reduce the injuries. I mean, we all get it, man. They're trying to make the game somewhat safer. Southwest, let's see. Chris Foster, you are not good. What a bum. You keep waking up thinking about the Lions. What a clown. We're living rent-free in your head. That's probably the other part of it is that Chris Foster or whoever it may be, I mean, think about it. The fact that I have 21 different blocked accounts of theirs. I think we've got like 5 Broski Bear blocked accounts. That's somebody who's really diligent about creating new accounts, just to come on the show because they've been banned so much. It's impressive. I'll put it that way. I don't have that kind of free time. JDC, kickoff rule is bogus, man. I'll go with that. Don Burt, Philippines, I don't think a Dan Campbell team overlooks anybody. I agree with that 100%. But we are the better team, and I suspect us to spank the Bears again. Yeah, I expect us to spank them again. Southwest, Skip, Glenn, and Ben. Yes, we will move on from them. Miles Barker, thank you, Kurt. JDC, I thought the new kickoff rule would work. I was wrong. It happens, man. It happens. Mark, no. Woo! We are the Lions Roar, 100%. Hear the Lions Roar, my friend. Henry Moore Jr., thank you for giving us real news. Anytime, my friend, do what I can. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. JDC, I have no clue what a flick off is. We'll find out. Southwest Line, I don't have any hard feelings against AG, Ben Johnson, or any coach for moving on, advancing the careers. It happens every year with coaches, 100% there. And you know what? And I know Kurt Steele kind of mentioned it. I just don't wish the Chicago Bears any well-doing, especially when they play us. Trumps, Glenn and Ben, woke ice cream. Okay. JDC laughing. Trim Reaper, the host of the most. Have a great day, Coach and Duke crew. Woo! We'll see you next time, my friend. Hey, nice new thumbnail, by the way. Or picture, whatever it is. Trumps, I'm glad both the chumps are gone. I wish we would have hired seasoned old vets coordinators. I mean, hey, I get it, but if we trust in Dan Campbell, then you have to trust he's making the right calls with what they hire. Philippines, I hope we don't get stuck playing overseas. I think that's such a disadvantage to the teams that play abroad. I know we're not playing in Germany. Beyond that, I don't know. I don't think we officially know one way or the other. Southwest, the Bears stink. Overlooked, not worried. Okay. Hardy, no overseas games for Lions in 2025. Yeah, I did think I saw something about that, but I can't remember off the top of my noggin. Philippines on demand. Dan, that was a very good point about our injuries while playing the Bears. Very good point. Hey, every once in a while, I get something right. I'm not as accurate as Dan Kuiper Jr., but every once in a while I get something. Brian, I watched thing on NFL with Goodell. He said he was going to do 2 preseason games soon. He just didn't see the need for 3 to 4 preseason games. Yeah, nowadays I would agree with him. I get, 20 years ago or before that, the coaches really and the teams really use those games as an opportunity to kind of get everybody up to speed for week 1 of the regular season. But the majority, as we all know, whatever it's been the last 5 or 8 years, not many teams, I should say, really do that anymore. Now it's just about trying to develop younger talent, evaluate players. So I do think it would not be a bad move from the NFL standpoint if they removed one of those preseason games and either added in a bye week or, I hate to say it, but another game. Southwest Lion, Zedarius was productive without Hutch. Imagine what he will do with Hutch. He's under contract for 1 more year. Keep him and get another edge rusher. Yeah, I think that's probably what they're going to do. Hardy, Bears could be close to 500 this season. They could be, or if I'm hopeful, they're close to 0 and whatever. Silent Service, we went 6-0 in the division. Not scared of the Bears, 100%. Especially if we're even 50% healthier than we were last year on D, and as a team overall. Then I like our chances even more. Mark, the Bears aka the toilet seats, because they have the talent seat, the toilet seat on their helmet and the toilet seat on their field. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Trump's Dan, let him stay on here and keep making a fool of himself. Trump's. I have no doubt he's going to create some more accounts and come on back. So I'm not going to unblock him, but he will return undeniably. Philippines, Don Burr, I say the Lions overlook other teams. I was referring to the fans. Yeah, the fans do, but the players and coaches don't. Silent service, they won't go back to concussion rate, dropped by 17% from last year. That's the other part of it, is just the human factor. If they really are improving things that much, then at the end of the day, is it about us as fans or is it about the players? And that's what I guess we'd have to ask. All right, let's see. William, UIUC Goff won't that quarterback contest. I didn't watch the Pro Bowl. I did see that he was in it, but I didn't watch it. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. Back at you. Bo, Chris Foster is a pain on his even MCDC presser. Shows up everywhere. I can do without him here. Thanks, Coach. Anytime, man. Anytime. Hookadoo. Chris Foster, you have fun with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Coaches and rookie quarterbacks go to die. Yeah, I'd say most of us agree. Chicago has not been kind to its coaches or its quarterbacks in several years, and we can all debate why that is. I think they're not the best ran organization or franchise in the NFL anymore, unfortunately. Southwest Line, Philippines on demand. All fan bases have smack talkers who are overly cocky, including the Lions fan base. I would agree. But as someone who's been a Lions fan for decades, I don't overlook any team. Yeah, I'll go with that. Keith, glasses and a tie, looking good, Mr. President. Our new team president, exclamation point. Mr. President, please add Max to our D-line and draft Green, exclamation point. D lineman and linebackers, Super Bowl bound, Mr. President, 14-3. Woo! I would go with that. And I'm assuming, Keith, you're talking about Dan Kuiper Jr. Trump, keep NFL and America. You get Europeans involved, you will woke even more. I think it's unavoidable, Trump. You're going to see the NFL expand. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a business. They want to expand into. Could they get into Canada with the CFL? Probably eventually, but I think they're going to get into Europe. They're going to get into South America. It's just a matter of time. Mark, I am Amy Spry's son. She has not been on Lions Talk Live in a while because her cell phone is messed up. With her phone is fixed. Like, I know she will be back on Lions Talk Live because she likes Lions Talk. Hey, tell her we said hi. I know Amy sends me messages sometimes. Can't wait to see her back in the chat, my friend. Have a good day. And yeah, tell her we said hi. Trim Reaper, my puppies, Carlos loves Kuiper and the Duke crew. Woo! I'm glad likes Dan Kuiper Jr. Hookadoo, yeah, he got an MCDC pressers. Yeah, I don't think they block anybody on there. JDC, what kind of dog, Trim? We'll find out. Philippines, Southwest Line. I've been a Lions fan since 61, not bandwagon jumper. There you go. Bo, thanks for that. Mark Colney. Amy is a loyal fan. Yes, she is. Trump's, they should have the players vote on it then because it definitely ruining the game. All right. Keith, greetings, salutations to everyone. Have a wonderful Friday, Super Bowl bound. Woo! I agree. Have a great day, my friend. Southwest Line, Philippines on demand. I didn't figure you were a bandwagon fan. You're advising other fans not to be overlooking anyone. I think most Lion fans don't, but there always will be some. Yeah, as long as the coaches and the players don't, then we're fine. The Dr. Detroit, why are Lions fans believing that we can draft defensive end that can hold down one side? Why do they think the draft is the way that the way to the Super Bowl? We can't play the draftees we have now. Okay. Trump's and the president. Okay. Hookadoo. Thanks, Mark. I was wondering about what happened to her. Yeah, me too. Mark, have a good day. All. See you, the rest of you guys, on the Lions Talk Live tomorrow. We'll see you then, Mark. Have a great and fantastic day. The Trim River, Carlito is a pit and lab mix. That's a good mix. Philippines, Southwest Line, fair enough. Go Lions. Bo, happy trails, Duke crew. All done and dusted for another day. See you all tomorrow. We'll see you then. Miles Marker, Lions, one pride. There you go. All right, guys, I'm going to go and get out of here, get to work and stuff like that, into the gym. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. And also, if you would be kind, before checking out, hit that thumbs up or like button. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for someone you don't know. We'll see you guys on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Excuse me, sir. Would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Juice for Jesus?
Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism?
How Jerry these kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology?
Or nuclear power?